Hello, I'm Casey,
And I'm Mackenzie,
and this is Field Notes from the Unknown.
a podcast about your favorite local cryptid. Hi, Casey.
Hello.
This is a good start. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am freezing my nipples off.
Yeah, it's extremely cold. And again, I still feel like I sound nasally. So apologies, everybody.
I really like it. I still really like your raspy kind of voice situation.
Thanks. I'm glad you like it.
Plus, whenever you record your voice, I think your voice sounds so nice. I feel like my voice sounds super like it's not my voice. Do you ever feel like that when you're
No.
listening back on the recordings?
Yeah, but I think it's because I don't like the sound of my voice. I like the sound of your voice.
That's weird. Also, I feel like our voices on recording are very similar, and this is probably some kind of weird, psychological thing.
For some people, they're the same person.
Yeah. I'm Mackenzie.
I'm
Just
Casey.
kidding. What you should have gotten from our intro, but here we are. Are you ready? I have a really fun topic for you today.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I was delighted researching this one because I don't know, this is not, I've had a lot of chimeric creatures. This is not a chimeric. This is just a good old OG backwoods, backyard even cryptid.
I don't know if I want one in my backyard.
You might want one of these. It's not mean. It's just large.
Large and in charge.
Yes.
Okay.
Today, I am taking you to my home state of Indiana.
Yay.
Are you ready to go on a little road trip?
I'm born ready for road trips. Let's go.
You love a good road trip.
I do.
Today, we are going to the little town of Churubusco, Indiana. This
Churubusco.
is, yeah, Churubusco, which I think is the weirdest. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend any Churubusco listeners, but I want to know how the name came to be because it's like a combination of churros and then busco. And it looks like it should be Cherubusco, but I read on the internet people saying it's definitely Busco, so say it like Busco.
Busco. Okay. Churubusco. Let's go.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm. So I'm gonna be telling you today about the Beast of Busco.
Ooh, see,
Are you ready?
I thought it was Buscow.
Oh, yeah, that's a hot take. That's not what yep, that's
Yeah. So it's
but I love how you pronounce stuff. It's always unique.
Busco.
Churubusco, Indiana is northeast in the state. It's about 20 minutes outside of Fort Wayne, which is one of the other kind of close major metropolitan areas. And to kind of triangulate you, it's about 30 minutes south of the Michigan border. So we're pretty up north. Indiana is so central and northern Indiana are super flat. So Churubusco is super, super flat. Southern Indiana has a lot more hills and hollers because it's right by the Ohio River and the Ohio River Valley. But the central and northern part of the state are kind of ground down by the glaciers, so it's a really good farming area. Some patches of woods and trees, but just a lot of plains. And then Churubusco has a little river kind of running through it called the Eel River. So, 98. There is a farmer who is named Oscar Folk, and he purchased a 7-acre plot of farmland. And on that farmland was a large lake on it. And Oscar was farming one day when he noticed crazy massive creature in the water. He described it as the size of a small dinosaur.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, when I think of a small dinosaur, I think of a velociraptor, which is chicken sized. So perhaps,
Is that what
yeah,
the little bird was in The Land Before
yeah.
Time? Okay. Yeah. Because that's
Well,
what I was thinking.
actually, I don't. I think yeah, that's what a.
Was she?
Are you thinking of Ducky?
Yeah.
Ducky was a
Ducky.
duck. She was
Duck.
a duck-billed dinosaur.
Okay. See, that's the small I'm thinking of. But her
Yes,
size and
yes,
not growing.
yes. But no, we're talking larger than that. So I really think. Can you hear my dryer going off in the background?
Yeah.
So I really think we would call this a moderately sized dinosaur.
Okay.
So take that how you will. So Oscar was alarmed and he began asking his neighbors about it, but they were like, "You are crazy, Oscar. We don't believe you." So he just let it go.
Be like, Oscar, you literally just moved here and we have no idea who you are. So,
Literally.
yeah.
I think they were like, "Dude, you're new here. You don't even go here."
Poor Oscar. He's like, now the town's probably talking about him, be like, did you see Oscar? What a
Yeah.
weirdo.
Like, right behind
Huh?
his back.
So he's
Poor guy.
just ignoring this beast he saw in the water now?
Yep, yep. So he lives his life, and there was nothing recorded again until 1914. So that's like what? That's like 30 years. 30
Yeah.
years go by
Poor
of Oscar
Oscar.
just dealing with it.
Yeah. Just like he just, like, treating it like it's another one of his farm animals.
Yeah, he's like, "There it goes again."
Should I put out some seed for it?
Yeah. Keeps on stealing all the
Do you think that was listed when they sold the farm? Like, in the
God, I
listings,
hope so. Wouldn't that be great?
right? Be
Like,
like,
it includes
and"
a small or moderately a small dinosaur-sized swamp creature.
that lives here. It's part of the
Mhm.
deal.
So, a man named Gale Harris purchased the property in 1914. They put the posting up, which I assume said, "Here lies a gigantic swamp creature."
It
Those
was.
owners apparently never witnessed said swamp creature, and nothing weird happened or was talked about for another 50-year period. So, all in all, we're talking like 80 years again since Oscar originally
Saw it.
settled and farmsteaded that property. 1947, Mr. Gale Harris then purchases the farmstead. And this is where all of the truly ridiculousness begins.
Okay.
So, July 27th of 1948, two friends of Gale, actually a family member and a friend, Ora Blue, which is such a badass, like old-time
I
name,
like that name, Aura.
Ora, right? Spelled Ora, and the last name of Blue. How badass.
I like that.
Yeah. So Ora Blue and Charlie Wilson took a boat out onto the lake to go fishing, but
So,
they
hold on, how big is this lake? Because if it's part of the property, what I'm thinking is just like a tiny man-made lake.
so the lake is it's natural. The the original Oscar farmstead had a part of that lake up, I think on like a corner or something. So the lake is bigger. I think the
Okay.
lake's somewhere between like 10 and 20 acres by itself. So it's pretty big.
Okay, so
Um
it's like the lake was on the edge of the farmland.
exactly.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. I think for a long time, no one else bordered really the lake. And it probably wasn't until people started living closer to it that more sightings occurred. But Ora Blue and Charlie Wilson were out there fishing, and they described they were fishing, mind their own business, when suddenly this like massive thing like emerges from the water beside their boat.
Ooh.
They described it as having the head the size of a small child and a back as broad as the length of the boat. All in all, it was the size of a dinner table with a spiked shell.
Okay, so just the head of a small child, but not a childlike head, right?
Yeah, like the size of a small
Okay.
child. It was all in all very, very turtley. It looked like a gigantic fucking turtle.
But with one big spike.
A bunch of spikes, lots and
Okay,
lots of
bunch of
spikes.
spikes. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So Ora was quoted in the newspaper. He said, "We saw the big waves a rolling and came up that turtle. I saw that big head sticking up and the waves going away like it was a submarine."
Okay.
Literally, the quote is a rolling.
A
A
rolling.
rolling.
So, I have firsthand experience with extremely large snapping turtles.
Wait, are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, this is some lore I didn't know about.
So, where I grew up, there was, like, a little creek that ran like, you had to cross the bridge to get to our house,
Uh-huh.
and, like, filled with snapping turtles.
Oh my god.
I kid you not, one was probably so you've seen the size of, like, our kitchen table, right?
Yeah.
So, it's with its head out and its arms stretched would probably be this about the size of that table. Snapping turtles are huge and can get huge and
They get really
terrifying.
big. They get really big. Yeah, part of this, I was trying to research, like, what the maximum size was. Um, so according to I don't know, the interwebs, I think it was actually the Smithsonian I was reading this in, they can get up to 250 pounds and be between 3 and 4 feet in length.
Yeah, they're huge. And this one
That's
was,
big.
like when I saw this one, he it was in the middle of the road, so, like, we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, you couldn't go around it.
No.
Yeah.
One, and because, like, I'm a kid, so I'm terrified of this giant snapping turtle in the middle of the road.
And they're mean,
Yeah, they can get
they'll
extremely mean.
and it's interesting, they can live up to, like, 400 years old, people estimate,
They
and the
are the
older they get,
modern
the bigger they get.
dinosaurs.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're cute
So,
when
I
they're
mean,
babies because they fit in your hand, and they can't bite you that hard,
because
but
they're too small.
yeah. Oh, okay, so
So, they're witnessing this gigantic, crazy-sized turtle. They don't have the language to call it a massive alligator snapping turtle, but, that it maybe that's something like what it was.
has it ever
But
been, like, do people think it's just similar to, like, the Loch Ness Monster that they think it could be an eel? Do they think this could be, like, a snapping turtle?
so, well, let's
We'll
let's
get into that.
let's get into that a little bit,
Okay,
because there's some I wanna talk about the propositions for what the creature is and, like, the challenges with that, because there are some issues with the snapping turtle theory. So, let's get into that.
okay. Alright, I'll let you go.
So, in the early autumn of 1948, so a year later, Gail Harris was up on the roof with his friend, who was a local reverend named Orville Reese, and they spotted a massive shadow in the lake. They thought that was kind of weird. They both clocked it, but then they just kept on roofing because they had to get the roof done. But the next day, they were up there again and they saw it once more. So they were like, okay, this is crazy. Let's go take a look. So they come down, they hurry out to the lake, they grab a rowboat. They row to the center of the lake and they begin scouting around, looking at the bottom of the lake, trying to find whatever creature made this massive shadow. They were about at the middle when they simultaneously spotted the creature, but on opposite sides of the boat. And they almost got in an argument because they were like, I see it. No, I see it. And they realized that Harris was seeing the end of the tail and Reverend Reese was seeing the head of the creature, and those things were about 10 feet apart. And it was underneath the boat, 10 feet across,
God, okay.
like a
I'd be
big ass
terrified.
turtle.
Underneath the
Yeah.
boat, what if it just, like, flung them? It's like, "Oh, there's
Yeah.
something on me? Not anymore."
Yeah. And and generally the creature was always like really, really peaceful. Um, but at one point, so after this experience, Harris got, like, really invested in it, and a while later, he took his son out on the boat, and they same thing, they found the creature, they were floating on top of it, and Harris was a dick about it, and he touched its tail, and so the creature got pissed, and it thrashed and capsized the boat, but no one was injured.
Well, it's similar to touching a cat's tail. Sometimes you just don't do that.
Yeah, don't freaking touch
Don't
the
touch
tail,
the
bro,
tail.
like, that's super rude. I hate it.
I hate it too. At least no one was
Or
hurt, but, like, don't be a dick about
yeah,
it.
especially, like, the son, like, dude, your son's with you, like, you're gonna be
Right?
an
You,
asshole.
like, set a good example for your kid.
So about this time, like, the media, local media got wind of it, and people started, like, flocking to the Harris house. They were trampling crops, they were jockeying, trying to, like, see the creature, and so Harris had to start charging an admission fee to anybody coming on the property who would try to catch a glimpse of the creature,
Good, go
and, like
Harris. Get that
yeah,
get that bag.
the tiny town was totally unprepared for, like, that amount of tourism traffic, and so the Churubusco Community Club formed a special subcommittee called the Turtle Committee.
The turtle committee.
And their job was to work with Mr. Harris to capture the creature, who they then named Oscar.
Oh, so okay, so his name's now Oscar?
His name's now
It has a
Oscar.
name, they can't kill it.
Yep, either Oscar's just a great turtle name, or they named it after Oscar Folk, who originally farmsteaded that property way back in the 1800s.
No one listened to poor Oscar.
I know! Poor freaking
Aw.
Oscar!
Now they're like, "We believe you." Little late, but
Mhm.
we believe you now.
So they launched this campaign to try and capture Oscar. And the first thing they did was they figured, we should get divers to come out and dive for Oscar and then try to, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what their plan was when they encountered Oscar, the massive 10-foot turtle under the water. You're gonna, like, bait it back? You're gonna try to net that thing? Good fucking luck, you know?
Right.
But They hired 2 divers. The first one was Woodrow Wigsby, who's from Fort Wayne. He was hired in 1949, and he put on this, like there's a picture of him putting on this old-fashioned diving suit with, like, that metal head gasket, and he went down but then popped back up immediately because his head gasket thing sprung a leak, so that didn't go well. 3 days later, they hired Walter Johnson, who was also a local diver, who went into Lake Folk and searched for, like, 2.5 hours, but Oscar was hiding somewhere in the muck, and he never found him. So
Okay.
that plan didn't work. So then they developed these like series of more and more harebrained schemes to attempt to capture Oscar. He was 10 feet long and like super strong and massive. So multiple capture attempts failed. They made a bunch of traps out of like chicken wire and like a bunch of other kind of like jerry rigged things.
You think
But he
that's
was
gonna
just
be
too big,
strong
too strong, and
enough?
too heavy. He would Yeah,
Yeah.
he would just constantly break through everything. They hand tied a 300-foot net and tried to net him,
Could you imagine
but he just
the
broke
turtle
through it.
committee just all sitting, like, they meet every Tuesday, and they're like, "Alright, guys, this is gonna get him," and they're just making knots in this net. Be like,
They're just
this is
sitting
the
there.
time."
They're sitting there for 4 hours on a Tuesday night.
Sipping on their coffee, be like, "We'll get him."
"We'll get him. This is the one. We're gonna get the big one."
No, no, what are you gonna do? Do you have a tank big enough to store him?
And you know what's crazy is they still have this net.
Please tell me it's
There's
in
a
a
museum.
museum.
Yes.
Yes, yes!
There's a turtle museum in Churubusco, and they have the net.
So it sounds like we're gonna make a trip to your home state.
Absolutely, let's do it. So, after all of the failed attempts at capturing Oscar, they hired professional turtle trappers from Tennessee.
I had no idea that was a profession.
A professor to be a turtle trapper.
Right? I wanna be a turtle
It's like
trapper.
Turtle Man from, like, Animal Planet or whatever.
God, that would be great.
They hired Turtle Man, and they spotted Oscar but could not wrangle him. He was too large. This is my favorite one. Next, Mr. Harris had a 200-pound female sea turtle brought in, hoping to tempt Oscar out of the water for some turtle hanky-panky.
We brought you a date.
Which is so crazy because, like, think about that. Like, yes, they're both turtles, but, like, those are vastly different
Different
turtles.
turtles. Honestly, it could be like, "We brought you a snack." Like,
Yeah!
like, "What are you gonna do?"
Like, a 200-pound female sea turtle is probably, like, what? Like, 3 or at maximum 3 feet, I would think?
Yeah.
So, like, Oscar's, like, 3 times her size.
Yeah, no. Not happening.
Oscar was unmoved. He did not come out for
He's
his sea
like
turtle love.
he's like, "That's all you got? No, thanks.
That's not it.
Not my type, sorry."
I freaking love it. I also read a comment from a Churubusco local on I was watching a Cryptid Corner podcast to do some research on YouTube, and this man stated he remembers hearing that Mr. Harris at some point dynamited the lake.
This is the second episode of yours that they dynamited something.
This is why I love, like, local cryptid myths. They're great.
Why is it what that's not gonna, like, help it. It's
Yeah.
gonna explode also. Do you think you're gonna
Don't hurt
dynamite
poor
the lake and
Oscar.
all of a sudden it's gonna be left in the lake is just Oscar laying there in the middle being like, "The fuck, guys?"
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Be like, "I'm literally just trying to chill and now everything's gone."
Yep. Yep. I could find no, like, shouldn't that this in fact happened, but I love that.
I love that too. Gosh.
So, following these attempts, Mr. Harris just decided to hell with it, and he bought an expensive gas-powered sump pump,
Okay.
and using about 2,000 gallons of gas, he drained all of the water from the lake.
Oh my god.
He
Okay.
still didn't locate Oscar.
I get probably because Oscar's, like, hiding in the mud somewhere.
He's like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, he's like, no."
And then, like, later, I think even that same month, like, there was a really heavy rainstorm, and that just filled the lake back in again.
Oscar did, like, a rain dance at night where he's like, "This has to be fixed."
I love the idea of, like, a massive 10-foot-long snapping turtle under a moon, like, dancing for rain.
He's like, "Yes, now's the
Because he with
time."
his little turtle butt wiggling his turtley tail.
Out there,
Turtle
like,
rain dance.
making croaks or whatever sound a turtle would make.
Have you seen those videos of the turtles mating and they're like, "Wow,
Yes.
wow."
And then just like,
That's what I pictured.
yeah, he's just out there.
Like, a lot of people saw Oscar. I think it was 1949. Like, 200 people watched Oscar leap out of the water with a lot of elegance for his sheer size to feast on live ducks that were in a trap that was set for him. He burst through the trap, ate the ducks, and then, went about his turtley way.
So he jumped out of the water to get ducks.
He leapt out of the water
Leapt out of
and
the
caught a
water.
duck in his mouth.
Wow, the elegance of this
Beautiful.
turtle, like, that's amazing.
Very large, very elegant. So, ultimately, Harris spent so much money trying to hunt down Oscar that his farm failed. He had to
Aw,
sell it.
I hope
He
he was
actually
listed in it again.
It really is.
Can you go back and find, like, old retail like, realtor listings?
Oh my god,
That would
I
be
wanna try to
great.
find it.
Go to the court
Yeah,
archives, be like, "Look, this property sold
around November
around
of
this time.
1949.
What do you got?"
What was it listed as?
Oh, man.
And since then, no one has seen Oscar.
No one has seen Oscar?
I know.
Man.
Did he move on to other turtley parts? Did he die in the muck when the lake was really drained? I don't know. I hope not.
I hope not either, but the stress of what those people put him through probably,
Oh, yeah.
at least they caught him ducks.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cute.
Yeah. So that brings us back to what is Oscar? So the predominant theory is he was just a freaking gigantic alligator snapping turtle. And so we talked a little bit about like their maximum size. The other thing is as they age, they get bigger. And they also, for whatever reason, the older they get, the more north they get.
The more north they get?
Yeah, they travel further
Oh, okay,
north.
yeah. I wonder why.
But I know. The issue is, is it herpetologists, like reptilian scientists? They will tell you that the most north they get in Indiana is like Morgan County, which borders the Ohio River and the total far south. But I have this weird memory from growing up, and at my elementary school, there was like a cute little pond we had like in the back of the property, and I remember seeing a snapping turtle there. And I lived in central Indiana.
Mhm.
So I don't really know. So some people suggest that maybe Oscar wasn't, like, a natural turtle. He was an alligator snapping turtle somebody had as, like, a pet, but he got too big, and then they released him out there, and that's why he was out there way more north than he really should have been if he
Yeah.
was a snapping. But the jury's definitely still out, and I'm hoping that Oscar is somewhere to this day living his best turtle life, because if he can get up to 400 years old, I mean, he would have only been, like, 100.
I think Oscar's out there living his best turtley life, or when Oscar was given a friend, they had babies.
They went
Yeah, they went "Ah," and had babies, and now Oscar's children are just everywhere. But, like,
when mommy sea turtle and daddy snapping turtle love each other
very
very
much.
much. When we had the alpaca farm, we would call it special hugs. And then we had this kid that was there for 4-H trying to train the alpacas, and he unsolicited told his parents that he helped park the car in the garage.
The car in the garage.
Yep.
When I have kids and I need to have the talk with them, I'm gonna play them this episode.
Oh, please do. Absolutely. So, to this day, the tiny town of Churubusco has taken to calling itself Turtle Town, USA.
Turtle, I love that.
Uh-huh. Um, and that's for Oscar, but also something else too. Of course, they have a festival. Turtle Day Festival occurs every June, and you're gonna love this. It features parades, a beauty pageant, a fish fry, a carnival, barbershop quartets.
Oh my god.
I know. A pie eating contest and turtle races.
I love that.
So
One, the beauty
people
contest, I really
yeah,
hope, like, it's not like your normal beauty contest. I want these girls to go out there, or guys, and do their best turtle costume. Like, if it does not have a shell, I'm sorry, disqualified.
absolutely. Mhm, mhm. You must bring out your best turtliness, and
Yeah.
none of that, like, Michelangelo, like, Ninja Turtle shit.
No, like, homemade DIY. In fact, I know some of people out there are great at crocheting. Crochet that crochet it. Knit a turtle backpack,
Yes.
dress, something. Oh, I love.
And of course, like all my cryptids, the town has a statue memorializing Oscar. It is located in the town square, and ironically, it is nearby another statue, which should not be confused for Oscar, which is the Chief Little Turtle, who was a Native American chief of the Miami people. Quick aside, he was one of the most successful military leaders of the Northwest Territories, although he eventually signed agreements to cede territory to settlers. But he petitioned nationally for health reforms and cited alcohol as a causative factor for the ill health of his tribal members. Therefore, he was considered Indiana's first health officer. So, yeah, he passed away in 1812, so a full century nearly before Oscar came. So, this is the other reason why Churubusco calls itself Turtletown, USA.
Go Chief Little Turtle. I love that.
No, what a cool badass.
Right?
But Casey, this does beg a question. Is Churubusco, in fact, the turtliest city in USA?
Yeah, it's the turtly silly city I've ever heard of.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
super turtle.
Yes.
I bet they make a great, like, turtle chocolate snack.
Ooh, like a what are they called? Chocolate turtles? Yeah,
Yeah, chocolate turtles.
I bet you they do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Did you ever eat turtle?
Wait, like so I haven't, but I will tell you, my mom grew up in Nebraska, and she remembers eating turtle soup.
I've
They would go back in the back 40 and harvest turtles for turtle soup.
yeah, I've never eaten it either. Eaten, eaten, whatever.
I would try it. Would you?
I would probably try it, but I don't know. I like squirrel. I like squirrel a lot. Squirrel's good.
Squirrel's good stewed. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know about turtle.
You have to figure out how to I mean, people lived for years with, like, interesting needs, and if you ethically harvest, I have no issue with it.
Yeah, if you ethically harvest, one thing I do not like is trapping. Not a fan of trapping, unless it's like live traps. But when you get the claw out there, I hate that shit.
Yeah. It's kinda
Absolutely not.
scary,
Yeah.
especially if it doesn't yeah.
Well, the whole point of trapping is to just get their paw in.
Yeah.
That's the most, like, inhumane
Whole
thing
thing.
I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My little tit for tat on
So
trapping, everybody. Sorry.
I loved it. This brings us to our believability scale. So, Casey, where would you rate Oscar on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'm gonna give us a 2.5.
That's so low!
I didn't give him a 1. I'm gonna give Oscar a 2.5 because I do think he was just a very large snapping turtle. But I also love how the town has went into it, which is why the point 0.5 comes in to play. And they haven't had any sightings.
They haven't.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I think I think he was a turtle, and I'm sure there are a lot of other giant turtles out there. Yeah.
And we would love to hear more about any giant turtle sightings you've had.
Yeah, give us your field notes if you have any.
Mhm.
So what about you? Believability. What do you give Oscar?
Oscar to me is a 5 out of 5. I've
5
got
out of
a
5.
5 out
That's
of 5. I absolutely believe I do think it was an absolute massive size snapping turtle
yeah.
that just somehow was way farther north than he's supposed to be. But, like, that shit happens.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, people say that, like, we don't have cougars in certain parts of the US, and we absolutely do, you know?
I remember growing up and everyone's like, "We don't have mountain lions here." And it's like,
Oh, yes, we do.
"Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. I saw one firsthand.
Mhm.
So fight me." 'Cause
That's crazy.
yeah, it's terrifying.
They're big, and, like,
They're
that's what's gonna get you in
huge.
the forest, and you'll never know they're there until they're
They're
on you,
yeah.
you know? Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
So 5 out of
but
5.
5 out of 5. That's good. What do you guys, our listeners, what do you give Oscar? What do you think?
Yeah,
Tell us your
please
thoughts.
tell us
Give us
about
your field notes.
mhm.
And
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please come back again next Monday for our next episode.
yes, what
Till
could it
then
be?
yeah. If you have any guesses, we'd love to know.
Yeah, let us know. But you'll be listening to me, so
I'm excited for your episode, Casey. You always have good ones.
I'm pretty excited about this one too. But all right, that's it for us, guys. You know where to find us. Links in bio below. All right, thank you, everyone.
Much. Bye.
Bye.